What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Hand Tight Racing channel. It is Friday and we are going to be heading down to Jupiter, Florida to help my friend Rick, Bastard 3V, adjust his coilovers the proper way. He's too low in the front. It needs to be raised for the angle kit so he doesn't have any more rubbing issues. We're also going to be checking his rear preload to make sure that his car is performing on track like it should be. And although I drive an S550, I started out in S197 and it's kind of like my little specialty. So I'm gonna go down there, make sure he's solid for his next track day. And yeah, it should be a good time. I love helping people out, making sure that their car performs how it should be, especially when they're on BCs. Guys, so we made the trip out 2 hours to Jupiter to come help Rick. Here's Rick.
What up?
At Bastard3V on Instagram, to help him raise his Mustang in the front and then check his preload in the rear. As you can see, that's not a lot of distance between the hub and the fender, and there's only about 3/4 of an inch of lower mount hanging out of there, so there's plenty of adjustment to be had, probably about 5 inches if I had to guess. So we're going to raise the front of the vehicle, check the preload in the rear, but first there's one product that is essential in working on vehicles. I use this product all the time. I love it. It just makes everything go so much smoother, and this is it right here. It's the best product that money can buy. It's great.
Hell yeah, brother. Bush Light.
All right, guys, so we're gonna raise this car about 2 inches. So an easy way to do this on a pass-through lower mount, and what that means is that this shock can protrude through the lower mount. Not all of them are like that, but this one is. So what we can do to figure out where we're at in the adjustment is, so right there, we're at about 7/8 of an inch. So if we're gonna raise this car 2 inches, we need to be at about 2 7/8 when we're done. So about right here when we're done. And that's what we're gonna do now. And how you're gonna do that is you're gonna take your small spanner wrench to loosen this bottom locking collar. This is the only one you need to loosen on a true coilover. As I was saying, all you need to do is loosen this bottom one. Get it nice and loose. And then we're going to be going to the left, which means we're going to be turning one of these lock rings to the right. And the only one you want to turn going up is the small one, because you don't want to loosen these. So we're just going to take this and start to spin it, just like that. So we're at about 2.5 right now. So we need to go a little more. Another time lapse coming soon. All right, guys, so it looks like we have our 2 7/8 measurement. Yep. We got our 2 7/8 measurement. So what we're gonna do next is just tighten this bad boy down. So spin this by hand just until it seats a little bit. And remember, this is aluminum on aluminum, so it doesn't need to be crazy tight, or you will mess it up. So all you gotta do is get it to seat like that. Take your second spanner wrench and just give it a few little pops. And that's good enough. Doesn't need to be crazy tight. It's aluminum. So now that we're done with that side, we're gonna work on the passenger side. And although the measurements were different from side to side when we started, we're gonna just match it. That'll give us the best result, in my opinion. I don't know anything though, but we're gonna just match it at 2 7/8, and that'll give us even ride height across the board, hopefully. We did find a bent inner tie rod. I think that is in part due to it being way too low, because it changes the pitch of the control arm like this. So if you raise it, it's gonna go like this, and then it's out of the way with all that angle. So hopefully that will help, to be determined. So we're gonna try this again, just like I did on the other side. Unfortunately, last time we had to use a 4-pound mini sledge to loosen this up. I'm hoping this time that it goes a little smoother. Yep. That's just how it should be, right there. No problem. Perfect. So as you can see, I was kind of struggling to get this one to turn. And what can actually happen is if you tighten these pinch bolts too tight, it'll squeeze the lower mount and it'll actually squeeze the shock body. So we're gonna try to loosen these and then try it again. And I think that will help a great All right, guys, so we got both strut bolts loose. Now let's see how take 2 goes of turning this thing. I think it's gonna work out a lot better. All right, so as you guys can see, that worked. Shout out to Wes from Driftaholics for showing me that trick. Wes also works for BC. We've done some technical stuff together. He showed me that trick. I never thought that the lower mount would, I guess, pinch itself like that, but he taught me that, and that's how we're able to make this so easy. That went very smooth. I was able to turn it with my hand there at the end, so that was great. We'll get this tightened back up after we go take a measurement on the other side just to make sure that it's perfect. And yeah, we'll pretty much be wrapped up here. In the front anyways. All right, guys, we're gonna measure what we did on the driver's side from lock ring to lock ring, because it should be identical as doing the lower mount. So we're right about 4 inches there from middle lock ring to lower lock ring. Let's see what we are on the other side. Spoiler, I already know. So So from lock ring to lock ring, oh man, we're dead even. What do you think?
Yeah, looks good, man.
Yep. Looks pretty even. So that should work. That should work out perfectly. And then we'll get these bolts tightened back up, and then we're good to go, guys. And now that the knuckle's tight, we're just gonna tighten this lower lock ring to our lower mount, and we'll be good to go. And remember, it's aluminum on aluminum, so it doesn't have to be that tight. Guys, here goes the moment of truth. Let's see how much clearance we have now. The answer is all of it. The answer is all of it. It'll obviously settle a little bit too. I mean, it was just jacked up in the air. Once it's driven for a couple of miles, it'll get a little lower. Probably, if I had to guesstimate, somewhere between 1/4 inch and 3/8 of an inch. Not too crazy. If anything, we'll just lower it more. But plenty of clearance now. No more of that rubbing the fender stuff right there that you see. No more of that. I can guarantee you that's not going to happen anymore. Oh, man. How do you feel about that?
Hell yeah, man. Looks good. Can't
Yes,
wait
sir.
to drive it.
Yeah, so everybody's asking, when are you going to join the Hentai Racing team?
Bro, I'm ready. Let's do it, man. Stang gang.
Stang gang. That's right. S197 gang. BCDS series gang.
Oh, yeah. Dialed in.
Yeah, guys, and that's how you adjust true coilovers. It's not that hard. Don't overthink it. Just do exactly what we did in this video. And so we're not going to do the entire rear preload adjustment, but that's simply because the passenger side is good. It's not loose. But let me show you an example of preload not set properly. So if you get in here on a separate spring and shock system and you're able to grab the spring, hold on, let me use my other hand. You're able to grab the spring like this, and you hear that? You see how it's moving? That's a problem. That means that spring is not tight in there, and when the axle comes down, it could potentially shoot out of there. This isn't one of those serious cases. It just needs to be adjusted a little bit, but that's the first step of preload being set incorrectly. And this could cause also a metal to metal noise when the spring is being compressed, because there's a gap here. So when it compresses, it's gonna come down and hit this, and that's gonna make it sound like metal to metal basically. So we're gonna make the shock right here a little shorter, which is gonna pull this whole axle up and compress that spring a little more and make it a little tighter in there. Call them motherfucking Roush axle backs, boy. Zip tied fucking exhaust hanger. Hell yeah. See that shit? That's professional. That's hand tight racing.
Hand tight. That's it.
All right, guys. So this is exactly, you can see it a little better at this angle. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You hear that? You see that? That's not tight enough. So we're gonna try something here. Take that jack and put it right here. Yeah. Right about there. Yep. Yep. Perfect. See the axle coming up? Yep, there it is. It's compressing that spring. Do one more pump. Yep, try that. Try that right there. And then I should, in theory, be able to turn this. Here, hold that for me. No. We're probably gonna have to unbolt that. Yeah, that's all right. And cut. All right, so I'm not sure why, but the height adjuster is at max low, and the shock was at max low, which means I can't shorten the shock anymore. So what I'm gonna do is basically I had little to no preload on it. So I'm gonna take this height adjuster and I'm gonna raise it about, I'm probably gonna do 6 millimeters just to be safe, or maybe 7, which is 1/4 of an inch. And then that should achieve the same preload on both sides. So I hope that works, and we're gonna find out. Pretty sure it'll work, because usually things just kind of work out for me. So we're gonna try that. And ooh, you know what? I bet I know the problem. I can see it right now. I just noticed something. You got that light? Let me get that light. Huh. Yep, I found the problem. So there is a spring seat isolator missing from this height adjuster that should go under there. It is not currently there, and that's what's making the preload kind of wonky. So Rick, you would have had this perfect, man. You would have had this perfect if that spring seat or the height adjuster rubber isolator technically would have been there. Yep, that's the issue, but we can fix that. We don't need that. We'll just make this one a little higher. It'll still sit the same, but just adjustments need to be made for this to work properly. But it will work properly, I promise you.
Good thing you're here.
I promise you. I was like, wait a minute, I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a rubber isolator right there, and there's not. So we'll get that all taken care of. I'll adjust this up. Still the same, about 6 millimeters, 7 millimeters, 1/4 inch, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, we should. So we're just going to adjust this height adjuster just a teensy bit, and that's going to take both of our spanner inches. So in this case, since it's all the way down, we're going to want to hold the small one this way, and then, nope, we're going to want to hold the small one this way, and then spin this big guy back the other way. Just like that right there. So, if you guys don't know, these spanner inches are exactly 4 millimeters in thickness. And we're looking for somewhere around double. I'm not measuring because I'm confident. So that's 4. And remember, we want almost 8, so 7. No, that's like 5. I'll take that as 7. Oh. How to break it free from there. So we'll do this. So that's where we need to be to make this work, this setup. We're gonna go this way on this guy. Opposite way on the other one. Oh, come on. Help me help you. Oh, there it is. And then we'll just kind of, not too tight. Remember, it's aluminum on aluminum. So, don't really need to go too crazy. You know, I would honestly kind of bet that I made that perfect. Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. Looks like a 1/4 inch, right?
Oh, yeah.
Give me a fucking 1/4 inch extension. You got a 1/4 inch extension? Let me see it. I want to see how good my eyes are. That's how fucking... Bro. My boy. My boy. There we go. That looks like it. Dude, come on. Come on. You guys see that? Look at that. Yo, come on.
Fucking mint.
Bro, you cannot make that any better. Eyeballing it. Alright guys, so we're gonna get this whole assembly back in there. Not really sure how I'm gonna do it yet, but I'll get it done. So let's try to get this first.
I could push all over there.
Alright, we're gonna get just this. Yeah. You gotta make sure that I got seats in there real good. Do it with your foot. Ooh. Alright, there we go. That's in there. Alright, one more. Oh, so close. There we go. Alright, let it up. Alright, so we got it back in there. Now, all we need to do is Rick, he's gonna jack up the axle until I can fit this bolt back in through this eyelet through the axle mount. So come up on it. Yep.
All good?
Yep, just like that. Come in on it. You're good. It'll work.
Right there?
Yeah, it'll work. Oh no, I mean like yeah, like the location is good. Yeah, we're gonna have to go up quite a bit. Yep, you guys see that spring compressing? I don't know if you can, but it is. And we're almost there. Yep, right there. Hold that. And just like that. And just like that, I guarantee that spring's not going anywhere. You suck. And it's just a shock bolt, guys. Doesn't have to be crazy tight. I mean, should be tight, but you don't have to He-Man it on there. And that's about it right there. Then we'll tighten this lock ring up. Rick's gonna be oh so kind as to hand me the correct spanner wrenches. I'll take that, and then remember aluminum on aluminum, so it's not that serious. Then spring is seated in there. Yep. No more noise. Let it down. And it doesn't move, which is perfect. And that's how it's supposed to be done. That is exactly how it is supposed to be done. No movement there. Perfect. What do you think?
I'd say it's time for another beer, dude.
Yep, that's right. Let's get one. All right, guys, it's about 11 o'clock, and we're on the way home. That's all right, though. Be home about 1-ish, but that's what you do to help your buddies. So, just note that. That's how we do it here at Anti-Racing.